We've got three different publishers going in three different directions. One of them is the hottest thing in comic books today, just waiting for them to do something stupid. And shockingly, it happened again. We got another one. It's not maybe a publisher, but it's an imprint doing everything that fans want. I wonder why people are enjoying Skybound. And then the final publisher, supposedly the market leader, just can't stop failing left and right, repeating the exact same mistakes, embarrassing not only themselves, but the entire comic book industry. And that's what today's video is, a tale of three publishers, why you should be very, very excited about what's going on within Energon, and be very wary about DC Comics, even if they are as hot as could be. Before we get to that, we do need to give a shout out to the 616 Comics, the #1 producer retailer in the world, the home of the sickest exclusive covers you will ever find. Go to their website, use the discount code in the video description, and have a ball. Now let's start talking about what's going on with DC Comics. They are as hot as could be, but they're making mistakes. The final chapter of the Hush 2 storyline, Batman 163, by writer Jeff Loeb and artist Jim Lee, has been delayed again. The comic, which was previously rescheduled for late January of 2026, has been pushed back another 2 months to a new release date of March 25th, 2026. This extended delay totals 7 months from a prior publication plan and over a year from the original projected date. The delay of this issue, which features the conclusion of Hatoosh Part 1, means that by the time it's released, DC Comics will have published at least 7 issues of the new main Batman volume by Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez. So we're still stuck in Hush 2 hell into, I guess, the mid part of 2026, and who could have seen this one coming? And I understand, it is Jim Lee. He has an enormous leadership position at DC Comics, but they did say he had an entire year that he was working on this storyline before they even announced it. And then they waited another 3 months before they started publishing it. And now it's just delay after delay after delay, which, these things happen. We certainly had plenty of delays on Doomsday Clock from Jeff Johns and Gary Frank, also because of the artist. But that story was amazing. And Hush 2 is anything but amazing. It's absolutely terrible. And I didn't even realize that Hush 2 was part 1. We're going to get a second part. When do we think Hush 2 might conclude? Now that we're getting 7-8 month delays per issue, are we going to get it by 2035? I don't think we'll ever get it. And it was, kind of pie in the sky thinking that Jim Lee was going to be able to come in and do interior art for 12 issues of a sequential story. And he was actually going to do any of it anywhere close to on time. And I don't think this story will be finished, and who cares, because it is so terrible. But this is what I'm talking about. DC is smoking hot right now. In fact, I'm about to have a great conversation, about whether or not the absolute universe could overtake Earth Prime. There's discussion about that going on because DC is so hot. They're embarrassing Marvel. They're basically embarrassing everyone else. But every once in a while, they do embarrass themselves with stuff like Hush 2 being delayed yet again, and there'll be probably another delay, and this one will come out in, I don't know, August of 2026. But it's also stupid stuff like the Fartacular issue and stuff like that. You've got all the momentum in the world. Everybody's talking about DC Comics. In fact, nobody's even talking about Marvel right now because DC have taken all the air out of the room, and then they do stuff like this. They should have just called it Batman Hush 2, not made it part of the ongoing Batman series because it doesn't appear to take place in any sort of continuity, and not made themselves look stupid. Batman Volume 3 is going to go on or continue for another year after Batman Volume 4 starts. It literally makes no sense in the world. But this is the stuff that I'm waiting for. They've got the industry by the oysters, and it seems like nobody can stop them. They will literally stop themselves. They're going to do something within the absolute universe to kill themselves, and they've already killed off all the interest in all their DC Prime in continuity books. It's going to happen. So enjoy it while you can. This is a harbinger of things to come. DC will inevitably destroy all of this because they are DC Comics and they can't stand the idea of doing better than Marvel. I don't get it, but there is one publisher, it's an imprint, that's doing everything right, and they're about to do even more right. I couldn't be more excited about this. A 2-issue crossover between G.I. Joe and Transformers will be featured within the ongoing G.I. Joe series, which is part of Skybound's shared Energon Universe. The storyline is scheduled to begin with G.I. Joe number 19, and will conclude in G.I. Joe number 20. The creative team for the issues includes writer Joshua Williamson and artist Andrea Milana. The narrative will feature the first in-universe meeting between G.I. Joe member Duke and Autobot leader Optimus Prime, and will also involve characters such as Clutch, Autobot Hound, and Matt Tracker, who is described as one of the most wanted men in America. And this, my friends, is actually how you do publishing. Oh, you really like what we're doing, Energon? You like what we're doing with Optimus? You like what we're doing with G.I. Joe? You like the little bits of crossover? Let's finally give you the 2 issues where Duke and Optimus Prime come together, and obviously Duke realizes that not all the robots are evil. And we're also getting all that mass stuff that's being slowly integrated into the Energon universe. We've already had Miles Mayhem, the leader of Venom, introduced in the pages of Transformers, and now we're going to get Matt Tracker, the leader of Mask, and he's the world's most wanted man? Sounds amazing to me. They're actually giving everybody what they want. This isn't a novel concept within comic books, but for some reason, it appears only the Energon universe under Skybound are going all in on delivering exactly what the people demand. We are right now in the middle of the Dreadnought War, and while certainly sales-wise, hype-wise, Absolute Universe is dominating everything, in my humble opinion, and I just talked about this and all the stuff that I'm loving in comic books, the Energon Universe is the gold standard in comic books in 2025, delivering quality with every single issue, with every single page, and I couldn't be more excited about the future of the Energon Universe heading into 2026, and all those rumors about a cartoon that's going to be coming up should be freaking amazing. Now, there is one publisher out there that has been destroying their credibility for over 5 years now, and they just cannot get out of their own way. The latest example of Marvel's complete ineptitude. They are launching a new ongoing X-Men series titled X-Men United in March as a flagship title for the new Shadows of Tomorrow lineup. The series will be written by Eve Ewing and feature artist Tiago Palma. The premise revolves around the opening of a new mutant institution called Gray Matter Lane, founded by Emma Frost. This facility is intended to be a global hub that brings together various generations and ideologies from X-Men history for learning, training, and conflict. The description suggests the series will feature action and drama, including classic characters like Wolverine, Magneto, Beast, Rogue, and Storm as faculty members, while teasing plot points like a young mutant suffering a critical injury on the first day and Cyclops opposing the entire project. Because why wouldn't Cyclops oppose a new school for the gifted? Cyclops has always been anti-school and wanted to use children as soldiers. Wolverine is the character that's always wanted to be a teacher and all that stuff. It's so crazy how they've just kind of screwed this up. Eve Ewing had Exceptional X-Men, the 3rd flagship of From the Ashes. Nobody liked it. It was terrible. Shockingly, when you put Kitty Pryde in Chicago with 3 new mutants that are completely unbearable, even with Emma Frost thrown into the mix, nobody wants to read the book. And now she's getting another flagship title that will just be expanding upon the ideas in that one, but putting them out of school so they can include Wolverine and Storm and Magneto in there, along with the 3 characters nobody fucking likes. It's so hilarious just watching Marvel Comics stumble all over themselves as DC is lapping them every single week. There's no room for a 3rd flagship X-Men title. And if there was room, it certainly wouldn't be written by a hack like Eve Ewing. She's had enough chances at this point. We know she's never going to be a somebody in comic books, but they're still going to prop her up and act like she's got some great ideas. Wonderful. We're going to be exploring more mutant culture stuff because that's been such a winning strategy for the last decade or so. It's been so heartbreaking seeing this amazing action franchise just collapse in on itself. X-Men used to be the franchise in all of comic books, and it's basically a footnote at this point. I don't think Tom Brevoort could have mishandled this franchise any worse than he has. They will never change course. They will never admit they made a mistake, and they will never try to make the X-Men great again. So you're getting X-Men United. Yes, they used the title from the second X-Men movie, which is fantastic. This comic book will never reach any of those heights, and it will be forgotten as soon as it's canceled. There were never any sales on Exceptional X-Men, and for some reason, Marvel refuses to take the L and move on, so we're getting more stupid ideas. I personally believe that a lot of the ills that have overtaken the X-Men franchise can be traced back to one source. His name is Grant Morrison. Now, he did a pretty darn good job this week with Batman Deadpool, but his new X-Men did so much damage, and you're seeing it once again in ideas like X-Men United. Doc and I recently talked about that, as well as some of the other mistakes that Grant Morrison has made along the way during his legendary career. If you haven't checked that out, I do invite you to check this video out right here, talking about Grant Morrison and some of the stuff he really fucked up, including the X-Men.